everyone. Hey, congratulations on your short film, My Demon.
Thank you.
More of a congratulations is being showcased at Cinequest. How does it feel for all three of you being here and that the film is being showcased?
Well, I think for me personally, it's a huge accomplishment, and it's a story that I wanted to tell, so it's very exciting.
I've loved this festival because it's a technology-forward festival, and a lot of festivals aren't necessarily embracing AI, but Cinequest is a leader in that, and so we were really excited, and plus it's a very reputable festival right here in Silicon Valley, so it was perfect.
Excellent. For me, it's an honor to be accepted here at Cinequest. I mean, it's one of the top tier. And just go back with them, it's like we shot this little film in the backyard, and to have it go from there to San Jose, I mean, what a trip. So it's a beautiful experience that I'm going on. It's so surreal at this particular moment.
Excellent. So let's start that obligatory question with you, Beth. Is tell us about this movie and where the inspiration came from.
I love this.
We're laughing so hard because... Okay, the inspiration for My Demon came when Susan and I are avid ocean swimmers. We love to swim in the ocean. And so we were driving to the beach. Susan and I had worked together before on a feature called Kill House some years ago. And she was telling me about her experience with ayahuasca, which, for those who don't know, is a very heavy psychedelic drug.
It's kind of like medicine. I like to call it medicine because I used to believe it was a drug. Then I did it. It's literally like you're having like 10 years of therapy in one sitting, but it's not somebody telling you, hey, do you know what your problem is? It's like you are recognizing what your problem is. So it all came because I was talking to her about my experience with anger and how when I did it, my anger came out. I killed my ex-boyfriend with a shovel and buried him. And then this lion came out, and the people kept telling me, you need to calm down, because I was like disrupting the whole ayahuasca ceremony. And then we both looked at each other and we said, well, that would be a great film.
Yeah, when I heard her experience and how some things went terribly wrong during the ceremony, I thought, great, it's a perfect comedy. And so we were able to craft the narrative around AI visual effects, which is really great for a low-budget film because, visual effects can be very costly.
Yeah.
And I would like to add that when we were first starting the process, the demon AI made it topless. We didn't ask it to make the demon topless, but it made the demon topless, and we had to work very hard to get at least a bikini on it, and so that's what ended up happening. And it really just thematically, it's about how the energy that you bring to a room spreads to other people,
and it can affect other people. It's like energy is the biggest currency we have. So. Yeah, and people forget that. So,
So, Susan, it didn't take a lot of convincing for you to participate in this short film, but why did you want to do it if this is so relatable to you with the story?
Well, let's start by going back in time. I'm an actress. I did a lot of acting for Spanish television, for Univision particularly. And I had been acting for years, and when COVID happened, it's like I hit a wall. And all of a sudden, everything became very slow because of all the demands, because, the quarantines and everything. So it's like I stopped working. And I'm like, okay, am I going to just sit here and wait for somebody to call me, or am I just going to start creating things that are relatable not only to me but to other people, especially when we live in a world where a lot of people are looking for healing, they're looking for answers, they're looking for other things like mushrooms and psychedelics that can help them kind of truly find themselves. So that's where that came from. It's like understanding that we all have a voice. So.
Excellent. Well, then it comes to you, Jabari.
Yes.
Because, obviously you weren't here at the beginning, but tell us what drew you in, that you wanted to be part of this project.
Beth, we've been friends for a while, and this project brought us together even closer. I think I related to the character Mark in the story because he's an ex-football player who had to retire because of his injuries, and Western medicine wasn't doing anything for him. So he wanted to find other modalities, and he thought ayahuasca would help him with that. So, and that's pretty much what my life has been about, that I have been through a lot of, not psychosis, but mental anguish, as most people, especially with the things that's been going on since 2020, and finding different ways to heal through meditation, through fasting, through things of that nature. Now, I'm not ready to go as deep as ayahuasca because I don't want to see what's down in the basement. I could go to the first floor, because I've done, mushrooms. That's the first floor. I think that's about as deep as I want to go with it.
Mushroom goes deep. Trust me.
It did, but I know it
Mushroom
could go
goes
deeper,
very
though.
So then tell us, Jabari, how did you get into that mental state of your character?
Well, for me, in any project that I'm a part of, or any character that I become a part of, it's like my mind already automatically clicks. What's this character's backstory? So what I just explained to you was a backstory that I had for this particular character. And once I get that, I just nestle into who that person is. And we had this scene where we actually took this drink, the ayahuasca drink, and I'm like, ooh, this tastes like Kool-Aid. And Susan was like, oh no, it tastes nasty. So I didn't know that from experience, so we had to retake that, But
the funny thing is, and the reality of like when you first take ayahuasca, I think it's because you're innocent to what the medicine really is. You're like, oh, this is not bad at all. It's kind of sweet. After you go deep into the rabbit hole, the next time you even smell it, you're like, oh God, I'm going to throw up. It's the nastiest thing. But I think, if you've never taken it, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. And then you're like, kill me. Yeah, it was 100%. And then you're like, kill me, I got to take this again? No.
So Beth, tell us the decision to use AI to create the demon for the film. I mean, most filmmakers would not go this route.
Well, I've been tracking AI for a few years now, and as a filmmaker, I like to stay relevant, and I have been through several changes within, the entertainment industry. Like, there was a time when people said that we would never shoot on video, and here we are. So I was, I'm just adapting to what's out there, and what inspired me about AI is that it was accessible. It's affordable for someone on a low budget, which is what I am. And, I don't want to stop creating. I want to continue to create. And I don't want to have to always go through a gatekeeper. And so that's the freedom that AI gave me as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
May I ask, what was your prompt that you asked AI to create? What exactly did you ask? And because you indicated that the demon came out topless.
Yeah. Well, okay, so, let's see, I did a visual prompt, which was I asked it to marry two images. One of them was a screen grab of Susan from the film, and another was a horrible monster, and then AI just had a life of its own and came up with a topless demon. And really, I had, the prompt was to combine the two, and it was sort of a lion version of a person, but also this demon that I just sort of a comp that I'd pulled of some demons that I liked, and it did the rest. And so it is interesting because I think we have to be really careful with AI because it's scraping the internet, and it's also scraping our biases, and some of the maybe less positive things about our culture in a way. Like I always have to tell it to create diverse characters. And you would hope that you wouldn't have to say that, right? And so that is something that we have to be discerning about.
Wow. Susan, what was your initial reaction since she used you as a model for this AI?
Well, I think the first thing that I told her when we were discussing the monster, because she was like, I think I want it to be like a red, angry kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? My anger came out in the form of a lion. So I'm like, it would be amazing if it came out as a lion. And then I guess EI decided topless lion it is. Yeah. And, it's like, but yeah, I think it's interesting because it is, I guess, it would be my anger, my alter ego, angry rage coming out. So, which used to be very destructive.
As a lion. Yes.
Definitely. I mean, and it was a challenge to actually get a bikini top on it, because every time I would re-input it into the AI model, it would be like, you're violating community guidelines. So it's like, well, you made it in the first place. So it was definitely a challenge, but I finally just gave up and was like, okay, a bikini it is.
Wow. Now moving on to the both as actors, what was the process of acting with this? Because I'm not even sure how acting with AI actually works.
I mean, it's like we, as a director, we have Beth to thank because she's the one that directed us through this. That's like, now you're going to do this, which is going to be mimicked by the demon, which is going to be doing. So she kind of guided me through what I needed to do to match the exact movement that the demon was doing in the film. So, and then, I mean, you should answer this better.
Yeah.
Well, for me, never having done ayahuasca,
Or AI.
or AI, I kind of did research on, not the symptoms, but how a person acts on ayahuasca. And I kind of mimicked that, kind of in the days in the fall, kind of like, oh, what is going on here? So I kind of took that perspective of it. So I did it from a lot of research. And like I said, when I did the mushrooms, trying to get some clarity in my life, I kind of remember how I acted there. So I'm thinking they're not too far from each other. So there was a little similarity in the actions. So I kind of took from that as well. But like she said, the director, she knew how to put us in those places as a person who'd never done it herself. But she knew instinctively, like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I want from you. And she was great with that.
The one thing to be clear about is AI is, again, very polarizing, and I did not put anyone's image or likeness into AI without their written consent.
Yeah.
So, anyone in the cast gave their written consent because, it's tricky. Like it's still in copyright dispute a little bit, and fortunately, this is a short film. It's not heavily monetized or anything, but people have very strong feelings about it, as I said. So,
Well, obviously, we are going to have to skirt into this issue because AI is a controversial subject right now because a lot of people are afraid of AI only because it's very, very new.
Right.
And that's one of the things. Obviously, being because this short film is actually made, you have much more of a little bit pro AI stance, but to what extent is probably the better question.
For me, I guess I'm not sure how long ago we actually saw the steam rolling of AI come in, and Beth and I had conversations about it. And of course, you fear what you don't know. So as an actor, and they taking images of these famous people, no consent, just pretty much mining their person. I'm like, oh my God, where's my job going to go? Where's my job going to go? But then I realized, anytime something new is created, it's feared, and then it's talked about, and then it's accepted, basically. So it's like I've learned to work with it. Beth had her apprehensiveness about it, but instead of letting the fear defeat us, she got into everything she could about it, which eased my mind that we're still going to need actors, we're still going to need emotions, we're still going to be able to need people who are empathic, who've been through stuff. AI ain't been through nothing. So it can't emote those emotions. And so that eased us. And I love that because if we stayed in that fear, we wouldn't be with you right now. So her being proactive brought us from that little in the back of the yard in little LA to here at Cinequest. I mean, you have to embrace what you fear. And that's what I like about this movie because, as she was saying about her anger, she finally realized you can't get rid of it, but you can work with it. And that's when you become the master.
I think were you asking in the terms of AI, which I think is somebody stealing your image, which is happening a lot online, that you see things and you're like, did this really happen or is it AI? So I think that's a lot of fear too that now actors have, that anybody can take your image and then, hey, maybe they put it as you're committing a crime or you're doing something and you're like, wait a minute, that's not me, but they have the image of you doing it and it's AI, and it's getting so hard to tell what is real and what is not with AI. I think for us, because again, it's a short film and we are not in a point yet where we're so recognizable that somebody would care to do something like that. We were more being like, why the hell not? Yeah, this is accessible to us. It's a way to do our film and, and get it out there.
Yeah.
But,
The fear of AI is very legitimate. I mean, there are things about it to be very afraid of. I mean, let's be real. But at the same time, there are gifts. I mean, I teach fully AI filmmaking course at Loyola Marymount University, and one of my students we were coming up with what we call lookbooks, and we were creating images, and she created an image, and the whole class gasped because the prompt was a middle-aged white man with like a Hawaiian shirt or something like that, and literally it was a picture of Matt Damon.
oh, wow.
Yeah. And then a later shot was a crowd scene, and in front was literally like a John Wick, Keanu Reeves. And so I think it's still, as we say, it can be stupid, it can be hallucinating, it still needs further training, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And you got to be careful with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, as an interviewer myself, sometimes I wonder there will be that day when instead of talking to you via Zoom, it will be someone else pretending to be you to promote the film with AI, and that might be down the road. Who knows?
Exactly. But for now, we just embrace it. Right. And take it for what it is at this particular moment, because change is going to come, and there's nothing we can do about it. So you got to learn to work with it. And you cannot live in fear of change. So I know there's pros and cons to it, but it's here. And we're going to have to learn how to deal with it, period. Among everything else, it's here. So we just got to make sure that we're ready,
Excellent. Beth, Jabari keeps on saying your backyard for the production.
It wasn't
It wasn't a backyard. It was a backyard.
Oh, a backyard.
No,
Tell us about
The set.
this production set.
Yeah.
Yeah. How she made it, yeah.
This was someone else's backyard.
And it was actually a set. It was a set we found.
We rented on
Yeah.
Pure Space. And what we were looking for is a yurt, which is, like kind of a hippie tent. But this one was, I just loved it. It was because it was kind of a little bit craptacular. It was, it was not fancy. It was like low rent, and it was. I mean, the house wasn't low rent, obviously, but the yurt was on concrete. It wasn't like in a beautiful field or anything like that. And I thought that's perfect because that's where it would be, right? LA is full of concrete, and it also had this incredible bar. It had so many incredible spaces.
Yeah.
We were able to
the
shoot
film.
them.
Yeah, it did. It was a great energy space.
Yeah, and it had a very like bohemian, cluttered. I'm gonna call it like a she shed or a man cave or a barn or whatever you want to call it. That was full of like odd collectibles, and it was just a win.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's make it very clear. If you ever decide to do ayahuasca in LA or in California, that's where you're gonna do it, in somebody's backyard, in a she shed or hut. So yeah, it was very true to, true to form.
Yeah.
Most excellent. So, what was the greatest challenge? Was it just the AI was the greatest challenge itself for this film?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, you know, we're veterans of
Yeah.
film production. We've done many.
acting, yeah.
And so that was easy to figure out. But I was new to AI, and I picked kind of the harder thing. It would have been easier just to make an entirely AI film, but making an AI and a live action and having to match these two at that time. Now we have a thing called Nano Banana where you know the images and the likenesses stay consistent. We didn't have that back then. Like that was just a year ago, but it's way back in the olden days.
Yeah.
And it was still doing weird things like headless horses on a carousel that was like with the little feet moving backward. Like it was just doing, which was perfect for our film because you know we leaned into any like weirdness that came with the old school AI, as I'd like to say, from a year ago. But that was the hardest part, and it was like there were times when I don't know if I told you this, but it did make you into an Asian man at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then it had a really tough time with the demon because it wanted to give it yoga pants, it wanted to give it different hands, and so it was very challenging, and those challenges have been corrected a year later. It's just like that was old AI. So I'm kind of happy that we had some of the weirdness of AI that we could incorporate in this because it's a weird comedic film. So
Very true. Nano Banana is something that a lot of people are now using.
Yeah.
So what is up next with all three of you?
Big safari.
okay, yeah, right, yes,
Big
okay.
safari adventure.
We have a documentary about ecotourism in Tanzania with lots of wildlife that both Susan and Jabari are in, and it's going to launch on streaming channels in late June. And and then there are a couple projects in the works. I have a project called Gun. It's about a private investigator who loses her gun. Someone gets killed with it, and then she has to prove her innocence. So that's a thriller that's in the hopper, and another project as well, and
Hoping to make this short film into a full feature and go through the whole kind of like ceremonies and the whole kind of like, therapy, how she goes from being completely lost to kind of finding herself. So, yeah.
those possibilities.
Well, I found my tribe. So my next few projects are with Beth, Big Safari Adventure. She's also cast me in Gun Gone. So I'm feeling better as an actor because you hear so many actors say, before I made it, I just found my tribe and we just shot stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
And you get to work on your craft. You get to build your confidence. So I love this, that we're just shooting stuff and it's becoming relevant. Like I said, with this movie here, My Demon, to be here in San Jose right now. And I know I keep going back to that backyard, but it just blows my mind that I didn't know from that little thing that we were doing that she had this long game. Like, oh, we're going someplace with this. So that is what's up for me for the next few projects.
Well, I'm glad all three of you had a terrific experience with this film, My Demon, and let's have the audience embrace it and see what they think.
Yes.